Who's your emergency contact? Who should we notify in the case of death? Welcome to the USP, where I've spent the last 2+ decades of my life. I'm in Atwater. As I previously told you, I've been in the shoe for a while. I'm out now, trying to play some football. Didn't work out too well for me. You know, we had fun though. Got scraped up, got banged up, put in a wheelchair. But when you're young, you healed up quick. So on to the next sport. And the next sport is softball. We got some homies that play softball that got some skills. But you know, at the time, this is my first year there. The homies that had some skills, they were like too good to play with the rest of us. So they went and played with other teams that paid them to play for their teams. They had two brothers, JB and Troy from Sacramento. JB, he's like the money man. So he would pay some of the homies to go play softball with him. You know, he picked different people. He should try to stack his team. Like, they didn't want no competition. They just want like all the best players on one team and whatever. I know how to play softball. You know, I never played softball before until I went to prison. I played baseball when I was 3 years old. I mean, not 3. When I was in 3rd grade, when I first came to America. And I don't remember ever hitting the ball with a bat, but I remember getting hit by the ball while I was up to bat a lot. And thinking back, I think the white kids did that shit to me on purpose. But, you know, that's a different story for a different show. But when I went to Lompoc, I learned how to play softball. And I started out in right field. You know, right field is like where they hide the guy that doesn't really know how to play too good. But before the season was over with, I was in left field, and they nicknamed me the tracker. You know, anything that's in the air, as long as it don't hit the ground, because I'm scared once it hits the ground, I flinch because you don't know where the ball is going to bounce. But as long as it's in the air, it doesn't matter if it's 2 inches in the air or 20 feet. If it's in the air, I go get it, you know. So, but the homies want to play, the rest of us. So with me and my homeboy Pooey, he's Samoan from Alaska. Me and him were, that was my road dog over there. We did everything together. We lived in the same unit. We kicked it. We was always together, kicking it, having fun, And no disrespect to the homie or anything, but he was just like, it was free rec. Like, we used to have a thing where we'd make up a Pooey Pooey shirt. We never actually did it, but it was an idea, but I didn't want to go so far as to actually making it so the homie don't get in his feeling. But the concept was like, if you say something stupid or did something stupid, you'd have to wear it. It would be the Pooey Pooey shirt, Because, man, I love the homie, but he burnt out. Like, I trick him and all sorts of shit so many different. It's just, I'll get into it more as I go along. I want you to meet all my friends that are in there that we grew up together, really, that we bonded through adversity, because in there you don't have anything. And all you have is your integrity, how you conduct yourself. And you cultivate those relationships with individuals that hopefully are like-minded. Because these individuals that you make friends with, you might have to rely on them and depend on them to save your life. Because there's no such thing as a fair fight in the penitentiary. The only rules that you should follow is to win by any means. And people in there take it to heart. When you go sideways on somebody because you're bigger than them or because you know how to fight, you might think, oh, you're going to go over there and beat this dude up. Well, you don't know what's going on in that individual's head. And if you're a gangster, then you need to fucking, give that other man the same respect that he's a gangster too. And gangsters go into confrontation to survive. We don't go in there to get bruised up and beat up. We go in there to make sure that we don't want to come back out of the room. And when you're cultivating relationships, like I said, some people comment and they tell you, we check paperwork. When you come off that bus, we get your name and your number, and we call home. But every now and then, I'm pretty sure some of you slip through the cracks. Some of them slip through the crack. But for the most part, we do our due diligence. And sometimes it takes longer to find out some information on somebody. Sometimes it pops up sooner. But the one thing I stress in the penitentiary is that you can only get away from it for so long. You can fake it. You know, if you're from the East Coast, they might send you out to the West Coast where nobody knows you. So you might be able to slither and slide for a little bit. Same thing, if you're from the West Coast, they might send you out to the East Coast, vice versa. But eventually, you're going to run into somebody that knows who you are. When I was in Lompoc, there was this Latin King dude named Tyson. He had a life sentence. I don't know anything about his case. You know, we were cordial. We weren't homies or nothing. In Atwater, he lived in my block, 2A. He lived upstairs. And, yeah, we ran back into each other. We just say what's up, give each other a dap, and move about with our business. Now, when I was in the SHU for the 6 months, he was also in the SHU. Like I said, I don't really know anything about this guy, Tyson, the Latin King. But while we were in the SHU, and I was in the rec cage, we wanted with another Latin King. He was celling with Tyson in the SHU, but he had moved out to go be in another cell with one of his other homeboys. And he was just like, nah, that's the big homie, talking about Tyson. And I just, he's got a life sentence. And, them old dudes, with the life sentence and stuff, they get stuck in their routine and whatnot. And I just want to give him the respect, to give him the space. So that's the first I've heard of his status amongst the Latin King, that he was their dude over there in Atwater. So we come out of the SHU. He comes out too. We didn't come out the same time or anything, but, this is months after we've been out of the SHU, and we're playing softball. And Tyson, he's the umpire. And today we're playing the Puerto Rican. So Tyson is the main dude for the Latin King in Atwater at this particular time. So everywhere he goes, he's got 3 or 4 other kings as his security. So when he's umping the games, all the Latin Kings be out there in the field. Their security, they're kicking it or whatever. So we're playing the Puerto Ricans. Like I said, we're like the bad news bear. We don't really win too many games and stuff, but we have fun. I mean, at the end of the day, when we put things together, it's just for the homies that maybe couldn't make other teams or won't be or isn't accepted by whoever. And we just get together, and our objective is to build camaraderie, to build unity, to build, that bond. Because these people around you that you call homeboys in there are going to be called upon to stand by your side. But don't get me wrong. At the end of the day, when push comes to shove, not all of them fulfill that. But until then, but you don't, but I don't go into a relationship with somebody thinking, oh, he's going to have my back or he's got something that I can benefit from. I'm in a relationship with you because I genuinely like you, regardless if you're hard, soft, whatever. If you present yourself and you keep it real, I get to determine if you're somebody that I want to associate with. But back to my story, Tyson, he's the umpire, and we're playing the Puerto Ricans. So a couple of them Latin Kings are on the Puerto Rican team. And we just, we went up to bat. I think we got like back-to-back three outs. Okay, softball in the penitentiary is not like softball in women's college where they wound your arm up and shoot the ball at you, right? No, they toss the ball like this, and it goes like 2 miles an hour in an arc, but somehow people still get struck out, right? I'm not saying I never got struck out, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I got struck out either. I'm just saying it's embarrassing when that shit happens, and it's embarrassing when it happens so frequently on our team, But like I said, we're just a bunch of gangbangers and dope dealers and whatever other else. None of these were athletes. We're not athletes, so we're just out there having fun. Well, it's 3 outs, and one of the homies got struck out, so I'm kind of like in my feels, like how the hell you can't hit a ball that's coming at you at 2 miles an hour and it's this big, you know? So right at this time, I'm playing center field. I'm kind of half-ass player coach because it was me and Pooey that put the team together. But like Pooey, he doesn't have the capacity to organize a team, for lack of a better word, right? But that's the homie. Sorry. But, you know, and this has nothing to do with the video, but he went home in 2012 and ended up catching a murder beef and is now in Alaska doing a life sentence. So, you know, much love to him. But anyway, we're on softball, so we're getting the gloves and we're going out to the field, you know what I mean? And I'm walking out to the field with my back turned towards the pitcher's mound and the home plate. So I'm just walking, taking my time because, you know, freaking we're losing and we didn't even get to freaking get nobody on base. I hear, bing. You know, the rules over there, your pitcher, before he pitches, he should make sure that everybody's aware that he's about to pitch the ball. Because even though they call it a soft ball, I promise you, there's nothing soft about that ball. And I've seen people get their nose busted, get their teeth knocked out, just not being aware. You know, you're over here talking in a conversation and your pitcher pitches the ball and the guy hits it and it's a line drive and it hits you right in your temple. I've seen it. You know, a white boy from Oregon named Allen, he was standing there and on third base, running his mouth, just talking it, and the guy that hit the ball pulled the ball. It was a line drive, hit him right in the temple and knocked him out. No, it wasn't Allen, it was Junior, but he's from Oregon too. White boys, same shit. Anyway, my point is, face the damn plate and make sure you're aware that somebody's up to bat. So when I'm walking out to the outfield, center field, I hear ping, you know, like the bat hitting the ball. And I'm just like, damn, I hope it doesn't hit me. And I'm mad. I'm like, you know, the homie Hitman, they call him Hitman. I don't know why. I think people just like pick their own nicknames sometimes. But he's the Samoan homie out here from Utah. Much love, Hitman, but you know what I've said it to his face, so I'm not talking shit behind his back, you know? But anyway, that's the homie. So he's our pitcher. So I'm like, what the fuck you pitched the ball for? I turn around and everybody just stopped and they look. And I see Tyson, the umpire, the Latin King, facing the dirt. And Cano, what's his name again? Cano, yeah, the Latin King Cano, he's a good homie, you know. He's real as they come. He's got the bat standing over Tyson, beating his head in with the bat. Bah, bah, bah. I'm like, oh, well, I guess our game's canceled, right? And you know, the bat that he used was like my favorite bat because, like, I don't know, for some reason, when I use that bat, I can hit the ball a lot further than the other bat. And the situation got the bat took, so I was kind of upset that they took the bat that he used to beat Tyson's head in. So I guess what happened, you know, when we came onto the field, the Puerto Ricans were up to bat. And Cano, you know, was walking up with the bat up to the home plate to go bat. And Tyson, he just like, you know, telling the pitcher to be ready, get a free pitch, you know, whatever umpires do. And he said, kind of wind up, and full swing, bing, hit Tyson in the back of the head. He fell face first in the dirt, and God just went to town on his head with the bat. Bah, bah. Now all the other Latin Kings that are there are sitting on the tables on the side of the field. They come running over there, you know, because Tyson is their shot caller. So they run over there, and Now, Gano and all the other Latin Kings are on like a little confrontation, but the Latin Kings don't know what's going on because Gano is a good dude. His paperwork's straight, everything checks out, and he a gangster. I'm not saying that the other Latin Kings aren't or anything, but it's just from the reaction that I can see from my field is that they were surprised by the move. But anyway, so they're talking to Puerto Rican. I don't understand Spanish, but they're just, going back, and forth. When you don't understand something, it sounds really fast. And next thing you know, like they kind of settled down because they were trying to run up on Cano. And they settled down. And one of the other Latin Kings, he's kind of yoked up. He went over there because Tyson walks around with a big-ass chain. I think it's a lion on there, right? And it's a big-ass gold chain, a medallion like that, and the gold chain is like this thick. I guess whoever has the yard for the Kings, they wear that. And he went and took it off his neck. The CEOs came or whatever, locked up Cano. And so I was like, damn, what was that all about? So when we get back to unit, the story comes out that Tyson was fucked up. I don't know anything about his case, but he wasn't right on his paperwork. But he slipped through all them years before it caught up to him. I was in Lompoc with him. That's why I emphasize, like, all you rat motherfuckers out there that's going to the pen, you think you can slither, slide, and duck and hide. You can for a while, for a period of time. But I promise you, when you get found out, your ass gonna get your head busted. Because there's so many of us that's in the penitentiary because of busters like you. Busters like these dudes out here that couldn't hold their own. You willingly with a clear conscience and an open mind participated in a certain activity, telling your homie that you can be trusted, that you a gangster, that you loyal. But once you face that cage, you want to go throw everybody else under the bus, and then you want to move around the street in the world talking about, oh, you changed your life. You found God. Well, for lack of a better word, man, you's a bitch. Because God ain't told you to hold another man accountable. He didn't tell you to go tell on your peoples. I believe even God don't like busters. We have standards, man. We don't violate kids. We don't violate women. And damn it, we don't tell on people. Welcome to the USP.